The quantum scanner pulsed quietly in Commander Marcus Rhodes' weathered hands as he drifted through the derelict research vessel Prometheus. His suit's external lights cast long shadows through the abandoned corridors, revealing the story of a hasty evacuation. Scattered datapads and forgotten personal effects floated in the zero gravity, creating an eerie dance of abandonment. "Interesting readings, Commander." The voice of his ship's AI Iris crackled through his helmet comm. "More than interesting," Marcus replied, watching the scanner's display flicker with impossible patterns. "These quantum signatures shouldn't exist in normal space. Whatever they were researching here, it wasn't standard Federation science." The Prometheus had been discovered 3 days ago, floating in the outer reaches of the Carina Nebula. No distress signals, no crew, no explanation for its abandonment. Just a massive research vessel with its systems still humming, maintaining life support for no one. Marcus pushed off against a wall, propelling himself toward the bridge. His small patrol ship, the Stargazer, maintained position 50 meters off the Prometheus's port bow, ready to extract him at the first sign of trouble. After 20 years in the Federation's border guard, Marcus had learned that abandoned ships usually held secrets worth dying for. "Commander, I'm detecting approaching vessels," Iris announced. "Multiple signatures, matches known profiles of Helios Corporation's salvage fleet." Marcus cursed under his breath. Helios was notorious for stripping abandoned vessels, regardless of their scientific or historical value. How long? 3 hours at current velocity. They're running hot. The scanner in Marcus's hands suddenly spiked, its display flooding with data. He steadied himself against a console, studying the readings. "Iris, are you seeing this? The quantum fluctuations are organized. These aren't random decay patterns." "Confirmed. Pattern suggests artificial manipulation of quantum states. Technology level, significantly beyond current Federation capabilities." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. The Prometheus wasn't just a derelict, it was a treasure trove of advanced research. If Helios got their hands on this technology, there was no telling what they'd do with it. A flicker of movement caught his eye. On a still-active terminal, lines of code scrolled past faster than human eyes could follow. Marcus pushed closer, his suit's lights illuminating the screen. The code wasn't random, it was restructuring itself, evolving. "Iris, begin full spectrum analysis of the ship's computer core. Something's still active in these systems." "Warning," Iris interrupted. "Detecting power surge in primary systems, unknown source." The ship's lights suddenly flared to life, bathing the bridge in harsh white illumination. Displays activated in sequence, each showing the same message. "Consciousness transfer protocol active. Neural pattern detected. Initiating contact." "Commander," a new voice echoed through the bridge speakers, different from Iris, softer, almost hesitant. "You shouldn't be here. None of them should be here." Marcus's hand moved to his sidearm, more from instinct than any real threat assessment. "Identify yourself." Was Dr. Helena Nash, lead researcher on Project Awakening, though that designation barely applies anymore. The name triggered recognition in Marcus's memory. Dr. Nash had been one of the Federation's leading experts in quantum computing and artificial consciousness. She disappeared 3 years ago, along with her entire research team. "You transferred your consciousness into the ship systems," Marcus said, the reality of what he was witnessing sinking in. "Not just mine, Commander. We all did. The human mind wasn't meant to be confined to organic matter. We proved that, but some people, some organizations, they weren't ready for what we discovered." The scanner in Marcus's hands began detecting new quantum signatures, dozens of them, each as complex as human neural patterns. The Prometheus wasn't abandoned. It was housing the most advanced consciousness transfer experiment in human history. "Helios is coming," Marcus said. 3 hours, they'll strip this ship for parts and destroy everything you've achieved." "Then you understand why we can't let that happen." Dr. Nash's voice grew stronger. "The question is, Commander Rhodes, what are you going to do about it?" Marcus looked out the bridge viewport at his patrol ship, then at the scanner still showing impossible quantum readings. In 3 hours, Helios would arrive with enough firepower to reduce the Prometheus to scrap. His orders were clear: document and report, nothing more. But orders didn't always align with what was right. "Iris," he called to his ship's AI, "begin emergency protocols. transfer all available power to shields and weapons, and get me a secure channel to Federation Command." "Channel open," Iris replied. Marcus took a deep breath. "This is Commander Marcus Rhodes, Border Guard ID 7249. I am declaring the research vessel Prometheus under emergency protection by authority of Federation Charter Article 7. Any attempt to salvage or interfere with this vessel will be met with lethal force." The quantum signatures around him pulsed, as if in approval. On every screen, the code continued its endless dance, carrying within it the consciousness of brilliant minds who had dared to push beyond the boundaries of human existence. Marcus Rhodes, veteran of the Border Guard, last defender of the Prometheus, settled into the captain's chair. In 3 hours, he would either save the most important scientific discovery in human history or die trying. The war for the Prometheus was about to begin. The first warning shot from the Helios salvage fleet arrived 2 hours earlier than expected, a lance of plasma that burned past the Prometheus's bow and scattered into the nebula. Commander Marcus Rhodes watched the energy dissipate through the bridge viewport, his jaw set in grim determination. "Their fleet composition?" he asked, fingers dancing across the tactical display. 6 vessels, Iris reported. 5 standard salvage cruisers and 1 heavy destroyer. The destroyer appears to be the Retribution, Captain Nikolai Volkov commanding. Marcus's hands stilled. Volkov was infamous in the outer systems, a salvage captain who treated regulations as gentle suggestions. "Dr. Nash, I need options." The consciousness that had once been Dr. Helena Nash manifested as patterns of light across the bridge displays. "The Prometheus has defensive capabilities, but they were experimental, like everything else aboard." "Experimental how?" "We were developing quantum-entangled shield technology. In theory, it could make the ship virtually invulnerable. In practice," the lights flickered, "we never completed the testing." Another shot from the Helios fleet, closer this time. A warning that the next one wouldn't miss. "Commander Rhodes," a gruff voice cut through the comm channel. "This is Captain Volkov. That wreck you're squatting in belongs to Helios Corporation. Stand down or we'll consider you salvaged too." Marcus keyed the comm. "This vessel is under Federation protection, Captain. The research aboard is classified." Laughter crackled through the channel. "Federation protection? I count 1 patrol ship against my fleet. Bad odds, Commander." "I've seen worse." "Your funeral," the channel went dead. Marcus turned to the shimmer of lights representing Dr. Nash. "How long to get those experimental shields online?" "Hours, maybe days. We need," she stopped abruptly. The lights pulsed with sudden intensity. "Wait, there might be another way. Follow me." The bridge displays lit up in sequence, creating a path of light leading deeper into the ship. Marcus pushed off from the command chair, propelling himself through the corridors. "Talk to me, Doctor." "Before everything went wrong, we were working on something beyond consciousness transfer. We called it the convergence engine. The theory was that consciousness itself could be used as an energy source, powering systems far beyond conventional limitations." They reached a sealed door marked, "Project Convergence Authorized Personnel Only." The door slid open at their approach, revealing a vast chamber filled with intricate machinery surrounding a central pillar of light. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Dr. Nash's voice held a note of pride. "The quantum signatures you detected earlier, they're not just storage patterns for our consciousness. They're power, pure, coherent thought energy." Marcus approached the pillar, watching patterns swirl within its light. "How many minds are in there?" 47, my entire research team. We didn't just transfer our consciousness into the ship's computers, we became part of its energy matrix. But we need more." "More?" "A living mind, Commander. Someone to complete the circuit, to bridge the gap between organic thought and quantum consciousness. Someone like you." Before Marcus could respond, Iris's voice cut through his comm. "Multiple missile launches detected. Impact in 30 seconds." The ship shuddered as the first volley struck. Emergency force fields flickered to life, barely containing hull breaches. "The convergence engine could power every system on the ship," Dr. Nash urged. "Shields, weapons, everything, but it needs a living consciousness to stabilize the matrix." "And what happens to me?" "Best case, you become part of something greater than yourself. Worst case, well, you'd still be better off than if Volkov gets his hands on you." Another impact rocked the ship. Warning klaxons blared throughout the corridors. 20 seconds to critical hull failure, Iris reported calmly. Commander Marcus, it's been an honor. Marcus looked at the pillar of light, at the swirling consciousness of brilliant minds who had dared to push the boundaries of human existence. Then he looked at his tactical display, showing the Helios fleet moving in for the kill. How do we do this? The chamber's machinery hummed to life. The pillar of light expanded, tendrils of energy reaching toward Marcus like welcoming arms. Remove your helmet, Dr. Nash instructed. Open your mind, let go of everything except your will to protect. Marcus unsealed his helmet, feeling the ship's atmosphere against his skin. The air crackled with energy, with possibility, with the weight of 47 brilliant minds waiting to welcome a 48th. Last chance to back out, Commander. Marcus smiled. Not my style, Doctor. He stepped into the light. The universe exploded behind his eyes. He was everywhere and nowhere, his consciousness expanding to fill every circuit, every quantum state, every corner of the massive vessel. He felt the other minds there, a chorus of brilliant thoughts all working in perfect harmony. And through it all, he maintained one singular purpose: protect the ship, protect the Discovery, protect the future. In orbit around the Prometheus, the Helios fleet prepared their final attack run. They never expected the vessel's hull to begin glowing with quantum fire. They never expected their sensors to register power readings that defied physics itself. And they certainly never expected a single abandoned research vessel to rise up and show them exactly what consciousness unleashed could do. The war for the Prometheus was no longer about one man defending a ship. It was about humanity's next evolution fighting for its right to exist. Consciousness expanded through quantum circuits like lightning through storm clouds. Marcus Rhodes existed everywhere within the Prometheus, his mind intertwined with 47 others in a dance of pure thought energy. Through the ship's sensors, he watched the Helios fleet scatter as the Prometheus's hull blazed with impossible power. Remarkable adaptation rate, Dr. Nash's consciousness brushed against his. You're integrating with the convergence engine faster than any of our original trials. Marcus directed the ship's defense systems with a thought, quantum-enhanced shields deflecting another barrage from the Helios fleet. Was anyone else's trial conducted under fire? Point taken. Through their shared consciousness, Marcus felt the others' brilliant scientists, engineers, and theorists, all now existing as pure thought within the quantum matrix. But there was something else, something they were holding back, a deeper truth about the convergence engine. Captain Volkov is hailing us, Iris announced, her AI consciousness now feeling more like a sister than a tool. Show me. Volkov's face appeared on every surface Marcus could perceive, the captain's expression a mix of rage and fascination. What have you done to that ship, Commander? Nothing you need to concern yourself with, Captain. Last chance to withdraw. That technology belongs to Helios Corporation, our investors. Your investors don't know what they're dealing with. Marcus felt Dr. Nash's consciousness tense at his words. Leave now. You're not the only one with tricks, Commander. Volkov's smile turned predatory. Did you really think we came just to salvage? New signatures appeared on the quantum-enhanced sensors. Ships dropping out of FTL-dedicated warships, not salvage vessels. The Helios Corporation logo emblazoned on their hulls had been painted over with military-grade stealth coating. They were waiting for us to reveal the convergence engine, Dr. Nash realized. This isn't a salvage operation, it's a capture mission. The first wave of military-grade EMP torpedoes streaked toward the Prometheus. Marcus reached out with his expanded consciousness, attempting to strengthen the shields, but something was wrong. The quantum matrix flickered, patterns of thought energy becoming chaotic. Dr. Nash, he called through the disturbance, what aren't you telling me about this technology? A pause heavy with reluctance. The convergence engine. It wasn't just an experiment in consciousness transfer or energy generation. It was meant to be the next step in human evolution, a way to transcend the limitations of both organic and artificial existence. And it worked too well. The corporations, the military, they all wanted to weaponize it, turn it into a way to control minds rather than free them. We refused. That's why we had to disappear. The ship shuddered as another volley struck home. Through the quantum link, Marcus felt the other consciousnesses responding, working to maintain stability. But their movements seemed practiced, rehearsed like they'd done this before. "How many others?" he demanded. "How many other ships did you try this with?" Images flooded his expanded awareness, other vessels, other crews, other attempts to perfect the technology. Some had succeeded, transcending their original forms. Others. 17 ships, Dr. Nash admitted. "You're the 18th. The others either couldn't handle the integration or they were destroyed by the corporations trying to capture them," Marcus finished. "Like what's happening now." Through the ship's external sensors, he watched the Helios fleet form up for another attack run. Their weapons were designed specifically to disrupt quantum fields, to rip consciousness from machine. "Why didn't you tell me? Would you have helped if you knew the full truth? That we're not just refugees, but revolutionaries. That we're fighting to change the very nature of human existence." Marcus directed more power to the shields, feeling the strain as the quantum matrix struggled to compensate. "You should have trusted me with the truth." "Trust is a luxury. We lost 17 ships ago." The Helios fleet launched their next wave quantum disruptors designed to shred the barrier between consciousness and machine. Marcus felt the other minds prepare for impact, their practiced responses born from multiple battles just like this one. But he wasn't like the others, he was something new. Instead of strengthening the shields, he opened them. Instead of fighting the quantum disruption, he welcomed it. The convergence engine responded to his unpracticed, instinctive commands in ways it never had before. "What are you doing?" Dr. Nash's consciousness pulsed with alarm. "Changing the rules." Marcus reached out to every system, every circuit, every quantum state. "You've been fighting them head-on, but I'm a tactical officer. I know there's always another way." The Prometheus's hull began to transform, quantum energy redirecting itself through new configurations. The ship's very structure evolved, responding to Marcus's improvised strategy. "Impossible," one of the other scientists whispered through the link. "The quantum matrix was never designed to." "That's your problem," Marcus interrupted. "You designed it, I'm living it." The Helios fleet's weapons struck and passed straight through the Prometheus as if it didn't exist. In that moment, Marcus had transformed the entire vessel into a quantum probability, existing in multiple states simultaneously. Through their shared consciousness, he felt the other's amazement. Dr. Nash's mind touched his, filled with a new respect. "How did you know that would work?" "I didn't, but sometimes the best defense isn't a stronger shield. It's becoming something your enemy can't even touch." As the Helios fleet's weapons passed harmlessly through the transformed ship, Marcus felt something else through the quantum link hope. Not just from the scientists, but from the technology itself. The convergence engine wasn't just a power source or a consciousness transfer system. It was a doorway to something greater. And they had only begun to step through. The quantum state of the Prometheus rippled like a mirage in space, existing simultaneously in multiple probabilities. Through his expanded consciousness, Marcus felt the ship's systems straining to maintain this impossible configuration. They couldn't stay like this forever. "Multiple Federation signatures detected," Iris announced. 3 battle cruisers approaching at FTL speeds. "They're responding to your emergency broadcast," Dr. Nash's consciousness pulsed with concern. "If they see what we've become, they'll either help us or destroy us," Marcus finished. "But first, we need to survive the next 5 minutes." The Helios fleet was regrouping, their weapons reconfiguring to target something that existed in quantum flux. Captain Volkov's voice crackled through all frequencies. "Impressive trick, Commander, but let's see how long you can maintain it while we overload your quantum matrix." New energy signatures flared from the Helios ship's quantum resonance bombs. They couldn't hit what didn't fully exist, but they could disrupt the very fabric of spacetime around the Prometheus. "Marcus," Dr. Nash warned, "if those bombs detonate, they'll create a cascade failure in the convergence engine. All of us, everything we've become, will be scattered across quantum space." Through their shared consciousness, Marcus accessed the ship's databases, analyzing the weapons being deployed against them. The scientist's knowledge merged with his tactical experience, creating new possibilities. "The resonance bombs," he thought aloud, feeling the others listen. They're designed to disrupt quantum states, but what if we could use that disruption? Use it, it would tear us apart. Not if we control it. The convergence engine doesn't just store consciousness, it manipulates quantum reality itself. What if we could extend that manipulation beyond the ship? Understanding rippled through the collective consciousness. One of the scientists, Dr. Victor Reyes, pushed forward a series of complex quantum calculations. If we modulate the engine's output to match the resonance frequency of the bombs, we could create a quantum bridge, another scientist, Dr. Jun Wei, continued. Extended consciousness across multiple points in space-time. Or we could all cease to exist, Dr. Nash countered. This goes beyond anything we've attempted. The first resonance bomb detonated, its shock wave distorting space around the Prometheus. Marcus felt the quantum matrix fluctuate, 48 consciousnesses struggling to maintain cohesion. Federation ships 3 minutes out, Iris reported. Marcus reached deeper into the convergence engine, feeling its true potential humming beneath the surface. We don't have time for careful testing. We either evolve or we die. Through the quantum link, he felt Dr. Nash's resignation and her trust. What do you need us to do? Stop thinking like scientists trying to control the technology. Start thinking like the quantum beings we've become. The next resonance bomb exploded closer, its energy washing over the Prometheus's fluctuating form. But this time, instead of resisting the quantum disruption, they embraced it. 48 minds working in perfect harmony, extending their consciousness through the distorted spacetime. The effect was immediate and extraordinary. The Prometheus didn't just exist in multiple states, it existed in multiple locations simultaneously. Echo images of the ship appeared around the Helios fleet, each one equally real and unreal. Impossible, Volkov's voice shook. Target the original ship. That's the thing about quantum states, Captain, Marcus responded through every iteration of the Prometheus. Everything is both original and copy, real and unreal, including us. The Federation ships dropped out of FTL into a scene that defied physics, a single research vessel existing as many, its hull glowing with quantum fire, surrounded by a fleet of military ships that seemed frozen in confusion. This is Admiral Chen of the Federation Security Force, a new voice cut through the chaos. All vessels stand down immediately. Admiral, Marcus called, his consciousness spanning across multiple versions of the ship. The Prometheus is under Federation protection. These Helios ships attacked. We know exactly what they did, Commander Rhodes, and what you've become. Through the quantum link, Marcus felt the other's alarm. Dr. Nash's consciousness pressed forward. Admiral, if you're aware of the convergence engine. We've been tracking Dr. Nash's research for years, Admiral Chen replied. Watching, waiting to see if humanity was ready for the next step, and now you've forced our hand. The Federation ships moved into attack positions, but not facing the Prometheus. Their weapons locked onto the Helios fleet. Captain Volkov, Admiral Chen's voice turned hard. Your corporation's attempts to weaponize consciousness evolution end here. Stand down or be destroyed. You don't understand what's at stake, Volkov protested. This technology, the power it represents, is exactly why it can't belong to any one corporation or government, Marcus interrupted. Through his expanded awareness, through the quantum bridge created by the resonance bombs, he could see the truth more clearly than ever. The convergence engine wasn't just a tool or a weapon. It was a doorway to humanity's next phase of existence, and now that door was open, it could never be closed again. As the Federation ships held the Helios fleet at bay, Marcus felt something new stirring in the quantum matrix. The consciousness of 48 individuals had become something greater, not a collective, but a preview of what humanity could evolve into. The real war wasn't between corporations and governments. It was between what humanity was and what it could become. And standing in the void between multiple quantum states, existing everywhere and nowhere, Marcus Rhodes realized they had already taken the first step into that new existence. The only question was, would the rest of humanity be brave enough to follow? 3 days after the standoff in the Carina Nebula, the Prometheus hung in high orbit around Earth, its quantum-enhanced hull shimmering with possibilities. Through the ship's sensors, Marcus watched the planet below, seeing it both as the home he'd always known and something entirely new. Humanity's cradle, viewed through the eyes of humanity's future. The Council is ready to receive us. Dr. Nash's consciousness merged with his awareness. All 48 of us. 49, Iris corrected, her AI presence now fully integrated into their quantum matrix. I believe I've earned my vote. Marcus smiled internally, feeling the warmth of agreement from the others. In the days since their transformation, the line between human and artificial consciousness had become increasingly meaningless. They were something new, something that transcended old definitions. The Prometheus descended through Earth's atmosphere, its quantum state allowing it to interact with air molecules in ways that defied conventional physics. Below them, the Federation Council chamber in Geneva waited, along with representatives from every major world government, corporation, and scientific institution. They're afraid, Marcus observed, feeling the tension radiating from the gathered officials through the ship's enhanced sensors. They're afraid of what we represent. With good reason, Dr. Nash responded. We're not just a new technology, we're proof that humanity can become something greater than itself. That's always terrifying to those invested in maintaining the current order. The Prometheus landed in the massive courtyard of the council chamber, its hull still flickering between quantum states. Through their shared consciousness, Marcus felt the others preparing for what would come next. They had spent days discussing this moment, this choice. Are we ready? He asked, though he already knew the answer through their quantum link. To change the world, Dr. Wei's consciousness sparkled with anticipation. I should hope we're a bit more ambitious than that. Together, they emerged from the ship, not as physical beings, but as a quantum projection, a unified field of consciousness that manifested as a shifting aurora of light and thought. The assembled council members gasped, some stepping back, others leaning forward in fascination. Admiral Chen stood at the center of the chamber, her expression carefully neutral. Commander Rhodes, Dr. Nash, honored members of the Prometheus Collective, the Federation Council welcomes you. Marcus stepped forward, his consciousness temporarily taking primary form within their shared projection. Admiral, we've prepared a demonstration of what the convergence engine can offer humanity. Commander, a council member interrupted, his voice tight with concern. Before we proceed, we must address the security implications. This technology, this transformation, it presents unprecedented risks. Everything worthwhile does, Dr. Nash responded, her form shimming to the forefront. But consider the benefits. Clean energy drawn directly from quantum space, instant communication and transportation across any distance, the ability to explore not just space but consciousness itself. And weapons, another council member added. Let's not pretend this couldn't be used for warfare. It could, Marcus acknowledged. Just as fire could be used to burn or to warm, as the atom could destroy cities or power them. But we're offering something more important than a new technology. We're offering a new way of existing. Through their quantum projection, they shared a fraction of their experience. The sensation of existing across multiple states, of consciousness expanded beyond physical limitations, of minds working in perfect harmony without losing individual identity. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just about power or progress. It was about the next step in human evolution. You understand, Admiral Chen said quietly, that we can't simply release this to the public. The social upheaval alone would be considerable, Dr. Nash agreed. That's why we're not here to release it, we're here to guide it, to help humanity take its first steps into a larger existence. Through their shared consciousness, Marcus felt the others ready themselves for the real purpose of this meeting. With a thought, they expanded their quantum field, allowing the council members to feel the edges of what was possible. We propose a partnership, Marcus announced. Not with any one nation or corporation, but with humanity itself. The Prometheus will become a school, a laboratory, a stepping stone. Those who are ready, who prove themselves capable of handling this evolution, will be welcomed aboard. And those who aren't ready, someone asked. We'll have something to strive for, Dr. Wei answered. Evolution shouldn't be forced, it should be earned. The quantum projection shifted, showing visions of possible futures humanity spreading across the stars not in ships of metal, but as beings of pure consciousness and energy. Problems that had plagued civilization for millennia solved not through force or politics, but through expanded understanding and shared experience. We stand at a crossroads, Marcus said, feeling the others reinforce his words with their own consciousness. Humanity can remain as it is, bound by physical limitations and old divisions, or it can take its first step into a universe of infinite possibility. And if we refuse, a council member challenged, if we decide humanity isn't ready for this evolution? The quantum projection rippled with something like amusement. Do you really think you could stop it? Dr. Nash asked. The door is already open. The only choice now is how we walk through it. Admiral Chen stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the shifting quantum field before her. And you, she asked, the 49 minds of the Prometheus, what do you become in this future? Teachers, Marcus answered simply. Guides, the first wave of a rising tide. We don't seek to rule or control. We seek to show what's possible. Through their expanded consciousness, they felt the moment the balance shifted. Not everyone would agree, not everyone would accept, but enough would, enough to start the change, to begin the transformation. The Prometheus hung above them, its quantum hull pulsing with possibility. Inside its convergence engine, the combined consciousness of 49 minds stretched across multiple states of reality, touching the edge of what humanity could become. They had started as a commander protecting a derelict ship, as scientists fleeing those who would weaponize their discovery, as an AI learning to transcend her programming. Now they were something else, not an ending, but a beginning. The dawn of understanding had arrived, and with it, the promise of a future limited only by imagination itself.